Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, and in this video we are going to learn about the type of alternating current and voltages in about next 5 to 10 minutes. So this video is going to be really interesting and highly helpful for people who are wanting to study the applied electronics and in the engineering part. So the first thing that we need to understand is what are the kind of the categories that this is divided into. The first category is known as sinusoidal, and the second category technically is called the non-sinusoidal. So what are sinusoidal and non-sinusoidal, that we'll discuss first. So the second category is called the non-sinusoidal. So what is going to happen is that as far as these terms are concerned, first let's understand through some graphs what technically is the meaning of the sinusoidal and the non-sinusoidal waves. So let me enclose that in one box over here. Okay, so let us first draw some sinusoidal waves. So let us say if I draw a straight line here that represents let us say on this axis it represents the current, and then if I draw a straight line over here, and if I have a graph like this, so this kind of a graph is known as a sinusoidal graph, and this axis particularly is the time axis. So current versus time, if it looks like this would be called a sinusoidal wave. And a similar category is that this can have a highest as a positive and a negative value as well. A very similar example of the other sinusoidal waves is that a similar wave, but this time instead of starting from 0, it will start from some random number on the x-axis. So technically it would look like this. So the difference between these two waves here is that this one over here is starting from 0, while this is already having some particular magnitude over here, but the cases of the nature is very same. The second category, okay, let us write the word sinusoidal over here. So these two waves are the examples of the sinusoidal waves. Now let us take the example of the non-sinusoidal waves. So let me write non-sinusoidal. So the next example of the non-sinusoidal waves is that in addition to the sinusoidal alternating current, we also have the second category in which the nature is the same, that it is alternating in nature, but instead of having like curvical structure, it has a square, triangular and a sawtooth structure as well. So let us say if I draw an axis over here that represents current, and then on this particular axis if I draw the time axis. So the first category of the non-sinusoidal wave is called the square non-sinusoid. So what happens is that it looks somewhat like a square, so it will go from here, and then it will go from here, and then it will go from here, following this particular kind of a trend. So as you can see the comparison, this was more curvical in nature, while this one here has these kinds of edges in its behavior. The second one is very similar to that. It will also have certain edges, but compared to the first one it would be having a very different shape. So if I draw the current on the x-axis and versus time on the y-axis, then the second wave would look like this. So the peak values are then represented by these dashed lines over here. So this would be positive and this would be negative. So this kind of a non-sinusoidal wave is called a triangular sinusoidal wave. And the third category of the non-sinusoidal wave is pretty like similar. So let us draw the current axis and the time axis, but it looks like somewhat like this. So first it will go like this, and let us say after this point it will drop down to this level over here, and then there would be curvical nature like this. So technically what this represents is something known as a sawtooth triangular wave, a sinusoidal wave. So this particular kind of a wave is called a sawtooth wave. This again here is current, and this here is time. So this was positive and this is negative. So I hope that this video about the types of alternating current and voltages is very helpful to you. And we have already discussed in the previous chapter that an AC, that is an alternating current, is an electric current which changes both in magnitude and direction with time. The alternating current is produced by a voltage source whose terminal voltage polarity keeps alternating uh, or kind of reversing with time, and such a alternating voltage is generated by alternators and electronic oscillators, or the kind maybe signal generators. So this in a nutshell was about the sinusoidal and the non-sinusoidal waves. So I hope that this video was informative enough, and for more such videos don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.